What are you wearing tonight?
I'm wearing All Day I Dream About Sexes.
Wait a minute. I'm figuring out. I get it.
Adidas. All day I dream about sex.
You know, the problem, Mike, is if you became a sneakerhead, you would exclusively collect Chinese knockoffs of brand name shoes because that's what you would enjoy, thus garnering zero investment value for your money at all.
Well, I like a bargain. I like bargains.
Yeah.
Like when bargains are driven hard.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and there's a lot of Chinese I mean, I bet if any of you were to look at your shirt right now, it would probably say made in China.
What are you still trying to get movie roles in China?
You're bowing and scraping to the Chinese government.
No.
Has gone too far.
No, I think that I guarantee you that some of you have one item of clothing on you that says made in China somewhere.
I cut the tags off everything I own.
Well, that doesn't mean that it wasn't made there.
It's the first thing I do. No,
that doesn't mean that it wasn't made there.
It loses its character of origin as soon as you cut the tag out. It's like a spell.
I don't think that's true.
I think that's how it works.
I don't think that's true. And that's not how spells work either.
I don't know. It seemed pretty mystic when I did it.
I think a real quantum magician would know that.
Well, what if I told you I burnt the tags in my quantum lab?
Well, I would say that just by interacting with me, they're bathed in the sonic sound that makes them retain where they come from. That makes them retain their mystic land of origin.
Don't mix your sound bathing with my quantum magic. Let's keep these things separate. If these disciplines were to combine, who knows what calamity could result.
That's true.
What do you think would happen?
I don't know. Giant vinegaroons. Since we're
probably
reaching back, I love it.
Probably giant vinegaroons or psychic vinegaroons.
You know, there's a lot of magicians now that are into not changing the future, but changing the past. Have you heard about this?
I haven't heard about this.
I have not. This is
Changing the past would change the future, though, wouldn't it?
Depending on what kind of timeline that you...
Right.
There's a lot of theories on time travel, and there's a lot of different, if you go back and change the past, there's a new timeline that starts out of that, but you are still from your timeline, and it depends which timeline you're going to hop to.
I'm just saying, I couldn't imagine anything worse than changing the past and then getting to this point in my life, and it's exactly the same as it is right now. Talking to you guys on a podcast nobody listens to.
I wouldn't say nobody. We have fans all over the goddamn world.
Over the world. Good people all over the world.
I've gotten emails, plural, of people saying the podcast. I listen to it. I exist.
No one that's ever reached out to me.
Well, that's because you don't have a single social media outlet because you like to stay in the shadows.
Well, as a quantum magician, I know you don't want to have a lot of people to have access to you. So
True.
No, the more entangled I get in the world around me, the more likely that one of my quantum spells is going to backfire. So
on you or on them?
Thank you, Mark, for explaining my total lack of modern socializing.
I have a story I want to tell you guys that I think you'll enjoy.
Could this be characterized as an outcry?
No, this is...
It started that way. I've got it... Okay. Sorry.
So, I as you know, our listeners do not know, but as you know, I had my floors redone recently. So, I'm paying the guys, and the main guy's like, he's talking to me or whatever. But the other two guys, one of them's his son and one's some other guy, and they won't look at me. They always look down and smile. And I'm like, what is going on? What evil secret did they find in my house while ripping up my floors? And then it hit me when I went to the bathroom later is I have a bidet.
That seems like you jumped several steps of reasoning to get to that being the thing they were
what
grinning
else is
about.
it that they're not they just got that look on their face like I can't look at them without laughing.
I think that's classist.
Maybe they saw your giant collection of board games.
Yeah, maybe it's that.
Those were packed away in another room.
All right.
I bet they were digging around through your stuff.
And they found something weird.
What do you think they found?
A Ringo?
No, I left that. I left them out for them. They took them.
You're used, Ringo?
You used Ringo.
I mean, I clean them off with hydrogen peroxide.
You said, here's a tip for your tip.
Mm.
And then you winked.
Right.
Exaggeratedly.
And you said, don't worry, you won't come easy.
Yeah.
That's good. That's good Ringo humor, you assholes.
I don't know. I mean, did you, well, I would have invited them in and I would have asked them, see, I think you should get bold in that situation and go, what, did you get to try the bidet? Is your asshole squeaky clean?
I think you're right, Mike. I think that's, I have a bidet on one of my toilets. It's fantastic.
I felt like I was going to go, look, assholes, I'm saving the environment, okay?
Yeah, maybe they thought that was you channeling the bidet. I feel like every time I come out of your bathroom, I want to say, I'm feeling Squeaky Fromme. Like, you know how people just say, are you Holden Caulfield when you have drugs, you know?
Uh-huh.
They go, you Holden Caulfield? And you're like, yeah. Well, I'll come out and go, hey, I'm Squeaky Fromme. Are you Charlie?
Are you implying that's common parlance for having a clean ass?
Yeah, Squeaky Fromme. No, I'm not. It's not yet, but I want to start it, and I guess that's fair. Really what I want to have. That's my action item for this podcast is to get Squeaky Fromme as a nickname for yourself or anybody else who has a very clean, wiped bare bottom, a bottom that has no fecal matter. You know, just
there's gonna be trace amounts.
A bottom, a rectum, an anus that you could eat off of.
I'm imagining a Squeaky Fromme T-shirt that is advertised yet again right next to the Rim Reaper.
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
Nice.
And what if you have a dingleberry? You can call it a Manson.
Oh yeah,
that's why we keep you around, Mark.
Oh, Mark, that's.
I do feel bad that I never got to see Manson in concert. I just always thought next time, you know. That's why I'm going to see the Rolling Stones in November.
Because you're anticipating that one of them might have some kind of sexual assault thing coming up, and you want to.
I mean, I honestly, there probably something happened in the past.
I think there's no question that there's multiple counts of, I don't need to name the crimes, I guess.
Alleged crimes.
Nah, let's just say they did them. We can say that, right?
Yeah.
Whatever the crimes are, the Rolling Stones did them.
They are coming back, though. They are coming back in November.
Yeah,
I've never seen them, and I kind of was thinking I might, but I also don't really like the idea of slugging my way through a stadium worth of people.
Yeah.
Seems a little exhausting.
Did you
that
ever
being said, come to any show of mine. The idea of being in a crowd full of unwashed, buck-toothed morons who probably don't even all of whom have never been Squeaky Fromme once in their lives.
So you played 3 shows this week, right? Was that what those were like?
Mm-hmm.
No, my audiences are kind, and I would say every person in those audiences was a Squeaky Fromme.
Wow.
All right.
Yeah.
Did you guarantee that?
I can only speak to about a third of those people over the 3 nights.
So you've seen 1/3 of their assholes recently.
It was at 1/3 of each night, or one night you're like, all right, everybody line up.
Yeah, instead of vaccination cards, you have them.
Well, no, I mean in the club they were just.
That's right.
I just spent a lot of time in the green room, but I also walked around with a mirror on my shoe a couple between sets.
Well, were they good shows? I'm sure I already missed that part.
They were great. Yeah, I did like 3 shows opening up for Chris Gethard, which was really great. He was really fun and cool to. I mean, I'd met him before, but I feel like I was like, oh, what a cool guy. And then the Draculas played at a festival that was outside, and They had lots of psychedelic. They did that old school thing where they I don't even know what you call it, where you like drip fluids, like coloring fluid, and there's like a spinning plate, and they like project it and stuff, like the way they used to. For if you were to go see one Charles Manson back in the day, that's the exact kind of effect they would use, maybe at a house party at Dennis Wilson's house,
or the monkeys. If
or the monkeys. You know what I'm willing to bet though? Squeaky Fromme, probably not Squeaky Fromme.
No.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, no way. Well, she's dead, right?
No.
Are you sure?
I think she's still in prison because she tried to kill Ford, right?
Yeah, because she didn't go in with the rest of the gals. Or she didn't go in with like the initial family. She tried to kill.
I know she's paroled.
All right.
You can try and kill the president and get paroled?
Hinckley's out.
I guess. I mean, she's pretty mentally ill, I think, when that happened, but. Yeah, she tried to kill Ford on September 5th, 1975. Let me read the last two sentences from Squeaky Fromme's Wikipedia. She was released on parole from Federal Medical Center Carswell on August 14th, 2009, and moved to New York State, where she and her boyfriend live in a house decorated with skulls. In a 2019 televised interview, she said about Manson, "Was I in love with Charlie? Yeah, I still am."
Wow. That's got to be tough for the new guy.
He might love Charlie too, though. That might be what they have in common.
Yeah, I feel like most people who meet Squeaky Fromme know who she is ahead of time. Yeah.
Or you really fucking hate Gerald Ford.
I mean, if your brand, it would be weird. Where like that's she's gonna start a TikTok. She's gonna want to lean in on that on the crazy Manson stuff. Just do that for a little bit, then you can pivot out into just general skull collection and maybe presidential assassination kind of stuff. But at the end of the day, give the people what you want. Give the people what they want. They want to know how clean your asshole is and what kind of funny stuff Charles Manson said.
I mean, if you're Squeaky Fromme, can't you just like get macrame kits and put macrame kits together and like claim that you braided some of your own hair into each one? You make a mint doing that, right?
I mean, it does seem like she could easily, like, I'm an artist and just do, literally the draw, like just a pen on notebook paper, scribbles of nonsense. And, I mean, probably not sell them for an insane amount, but sell them for $50 a pop. And would I consider buying one? Maybe. I don't know. Probably not. But at the same time, it'd be like, wow, that's a Squeaky Fromme's piece of American history.
Well, last week, Dave told us about, what was the name of the clown?
Yeah, we talked about art last week, Dave.
Yes, we did. Yes, we did. Unless Mark decided none of that was usable, and then we didn't talk about Dave at all. But I don't think that's going to happen.
But the concept of art being, a lot of it's about the story of the artist and what the artist, and sometimes that's more important than the quality of art. Squeaky Fromme, what if Squeaky Fromme just did paintings of bidets?
I would hang that over my bidet.
I would too.
I would put a lot of money into that.
And she just, if she put a bidet, a painting of a bidet over my bidet, and it just was signed Squeaky.
Yeah, or a painting of a bidet, and then Charlie Manson looking at it and saying like, "What is this thing? Gabba-doo-gak, I can see it all."
That's an excellent Charles Manson.
Yeah. I give a goo-goo-ga.
Do you think she introduces herself to people as Squeaky?
I think so. I think the fame is important to her.
I don't know. That's a tough one. That's like when you get older and you used to be calling like Mikey your whole life. And you're like, do I want to be, you have that rebranding moment. Like if you want to become, I'm going to start going by, I'm Ricky Schroeder. I think I'm going to start going by Rick. I'm on NYPD Blue now. And now he's rebranding as a man who yells at employees of a Lowe's because he has to wear a mask inside. God damn it. I think he just grew up so spoiled with Dragon's Lair in his house in the 80s.
In that train? I could you forget? Yep.
Welcome to INS, the International News Service, your source for the most important weird news from across the globe. With news analyst Kevin Harrison, actor, comedian, and musician Mike Wiebe, and professional commentator Brian Camp. INS, the news you need.
We need a name for our fan base.
I like the junior reporters.
Junior reporters is good. I was thinking the sick motherfuckers, but sick is spelled SIQ. How about that?
Oh,
I think now it has to be the sick motherfuckers.
I guess.
All right.
Okay, but it could be and then mother, MOTHER, and then FAQKER $.
Wow, that's complicated.
It is.
It's pretty cool though. But it's cool.
That's right.
Sometimes things are cool because they're complicated.
Did you ever, on playing an old, say you're playing Dig Dug and you placed in the top 10, did you ever put FUQ as your initials?
As in fuck you, Qbert?
No, just fuck you, FUQ. You never did that?
I do TKO. The knockout.
Oh, nice.
Do you know what? Do you know what I forgot to ask Dave? I forgot to ask him how many bad paintings he has stored waiting for him to work on. Like, I wonder, does he have like...
He's got a bunch.
Can he ever pass them up if he sees them? Like, I figure like if you do that, you have to always capitalize and say, nope, I got to get it, you know?
Right.
But
Yeah.
he can only work so fast, and so just wonder how many he has. I need to apologize to all the sick motherfuckers out there for failing to ask those two questions. I am so sorry. All right.
Sorry, Dave, and the sick motherfuckers that we didn't ask the right questions last week. And by we, I mean Brian. All right. Welcome to the International News Service. We're your hosts. I'm Kevin Harrison, along with...
I am Brian Camp.
I'm Mike Wiebe, and in the west of the Rockies, high above the highest of high plains, working the satellites from north to south, east to west. Why, ladies and gentlemen, he has his arms folded with bad body language. It's
No, you got to introduce him again. Not just his name. We got to all till you said his name.
what? I fucking said his name's Mark Ryan. What else do I need to say?
It is Mark. How are you?
Hey guys, I'm doing good. Hey,
Right.
I have a request for tonight.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
Can we keep this like a tight 3 hours for
Yeah.
recording?
Tight 3 hours.
that
Okay.
makes this sound awful. Do we often go over 3 hours?
No, I mean, just to help me out with the amount of time.
You know
it
what?
takes.
Okay.
Let's see what
You
we
know
can do.
Let's see what we can do. Let's get the first story started.
Okay. The first story comes from the Houston Chronicle.
Oh, Houston, Texas.
Yeah.
There's no better vacation destination than a theme park. And this fall, a new, unique theme park is scheduled to open near Houston in Katy, Texas. Dig World, a construction-themed adventure park.
Dig Dug World?
It's exactly what I thought. Dig Dug World.
No, just Dig World.
Wait, but there are monsters that you shoot hoses into, right?
And inflate and explode.
Inflate and explode.
I think they can turn invisible and just their eyes will float around sometimes in the ground. And so Dig Dug World's going to be in Katy?
In Katy, Texas.
Will you be able to put a hose into an animal's rectum and pump it up until it dies, though?
I mean, this...
A lot of raccoons that are in trouble right now.
The story was not. It wasn't specific about rectal inflations.
But you can confirm it's about Dig Dug.
Mm-hmm.
It's called Dig World. What else could it be about?
Well, next story.
A construction. So Dig World is a construction-themed adventure park
Oh,
that
man.
will offer kids
God.
and adults the chance to operate real construction equipment, including excavators, skid steers, and utility terrain vehicles. The park says it wants, quote, to create memorable experiences for families that last a lifetime, as well as educate the next generation about construction and all the possibilities that surround that industry. Dig World is built on a 3.5 acre lot and will include a playground, gem making station, turf field with yard games. I guess maybe that's where
do they serve like little cans of juice with paint in them so the kids are stupid and want to get into construction when they get older? To keep them on a mental capacity that they are doomed to only work in outdoor manual labor, to where I remember being like seriously like 5 and my brother was like 4 and he was like, I want to be a garbage man. And I was like, no, that's not a good job.
They make good money, man.
Yeah, that's a career for life.
I'm sure they make more money than I do.
They get first pick of everybody else's stuff.
Yeah, it's true.
It gets thrown out. They work in the mornings. They get to work out all day.
Well, Gary V, inspirational YouTuber, Gary V says, if you're not flipping stuff right now, you are wasting your time. So I get it. I just sold a Dragon Ball Z figure on the internet for $18, so I would know.
What did you pay?
I don't know. It was just something that was in a tub of stuff. And then I thought, I wonder if this is worth any money. And I sold it. I'm going to start flipping stuff.
Did you ever
Nice.
sell your Beanie Baby?
Oh, I need to get that up there soon. It's right here still. As
The Grim?
Yeah, it's the Rim Reaper.
It does look like the Rim Reaper.
Yeah, he's got
You got to put a photo of that up, Kevin. That's important.
Yeah.
To know that he is in fact holding up a Rim Reaper doll.
Yeah.
Well, I do have a question about the Rim Reaper, which is, how does he have... He's clearly a skeleton, but then he's got a big tongue. Like, all of him decomposed except for his tongue.
I mean, you can't... It's literally the only way you can give a rim job is with a tongue.
I mean, there you go, Kevin. Touche.
Yeah, the Rim Reaper really likes, though, whose real targets are Squeaky Frommes.
The theme park plans to expand across the country over the next 2 years.
Like
Kids-
one park?
Well, it's one construction park
It's
now.
literally it's just tricking kids into making like new oracles, making new like fucking Amazon wish factories and shit like that. Isn't this fun? It's just the worst like fucking Tom Sawyer help me whitewash the fence.
Kids running construction equipment. What can possibly go wrong?
Yeah. Guess what? You know what's the most fun thing is to get overtime.
You know what strikes me is how big is this park, Kevin?
3.5 acres, which isn't very big.
That's not big for
Especially with a bunch of construction equipment.
Yeah.
I mean, you make it bigger as you drive some bulldozers around the area.
The only thing I will add to this is I do know that children love big trucks. So maybe that's appealing. Does it cost money to go?
I'm sure it costs money.
I mean,
yeah.
that is a scam, Mike. If you have to pay to go build stuff for other people.
Brian,
Yeah.
you have a big truck.
I got a Ford F-150.
If you want to drive a Ford in Texas, it's got to be a F-150. Gonna drive over some liberals and make yourself feel spiffy. Ford. We've got special holders for flags. Standard.
That's right. I've got a flag on mine right now.
Man, kids do love truck. I mean, they love construction equipment. They really do.
Yeah. Driving down, I remember driving down the road and you do this, and then the truck driver.
For the listener, Kevin is pumping his hand up and down by his head in a rope horn motion.
Yes.
Occasionally the trucker would do that, go, and then go have anonymous sex at a truck stop right down the way. And bring home a disease to his family.
All those pedophile truckers just honking their horn in gratitude for
Yeah.
a child pumping their fist at them.
Yeah.
Well, I guess we don't have any trucker listeners anymore.
No, I didn't say
Not
all.
all truckers.
In the Venn diagram, yeah. No, there are pedophile truckers and there are non-pedophile truckers, and
Yeah.
they're not always the same thing. They know that. They know who they
know
are.
that. They know, yeah. I mean, I think every trucker has been in a situation where he's had to fight off a cannibal trucker with a giant lug nut type 4-way car lug nut changer, you know?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Or an oversized wrench.
Yo, yeah,
Yeah.
like the huge, like cartoon wrench almost.
Like a Final Fantasy VII style size, you know, that's bigger
Yeah.
than a human body type wrench.
You know what? They do need to make one of those games, but just with, instead of highly stylized, crazy hair, anime looking people, just the American worker.
Yeah.
It's like a guy with a giant wrench. Maybe you could have him. Maybe you could market it somehow with Dig World.
Maybe the truckers could use the wrench to fight off vaccinations.
Don't make those. You know what? Don't assume truckers aren't getting vaccinated. I bet they are.
I'm not assuming anybody
You're
is.
just outing yourself as a liberal elite right now.
There you go.
I like to think of myself as an elite liberal. So,
Oh.
yes, it is ivory towers, but because they're ivory, they make good for some very stylized graffiti, which I allow.
Is there a market for, you know, people like t-shirts that just kind of wryly label them as what they are? Like, is there a market for a t-shirt that just says liberal elite?
Probably. It seems like a good troll. It just seems like a shirt that a bunch of trolls would like. I mean,
like
but
that.
really, there is a shirt that says liberal elite, just doesn't use those words. It says Rim Reaper. And it has a skeleton eating out an asshole.
Once again, touche, Mike. That's,
I did want to cover that story about all the people taking horse dewormer to cure COVID instead of getting a free vaccine, ivermectin. But you know, in two weeks from now, they're going to be
it's like a German impressionist. Ivermectin.
Ivermectin.
But yeah, 2 weeks from now, they'll have moved on to some other quack medicine, and so it's pointless to talk about it now.
I think we'll have herd immunity in 2 weeks, so I'm not worried about it.
It's probably true. Good job. Our next story comes to us from Cell Stem Cell, a scientific journal on stem cell research.
What's it called?
Cell, as in a
SELL?
No, CELL, stem cell.
SELLSTEMCELL. Cell Sims. So this is like some kind of genetic marketplace.
It's like fucking cyberpunk. That's like some cyberpunk shit. Like, I gotta go get my upgrades in order so I can fight the Nakatomi Corporation.
Wait, that's not how that went. You talk about Die Hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, but there's still all kinds of like,
Nakatomi is a good default corporation, though.
It's a good default corporation for you to have to like. They're a bunch of thugs with suits on and sunglasses in the dark, and then you start attacking them, and then the second pair of robot arms come out of their backs. But guess what? I got the keys and I hacked the mainframe and it shorted them out. I made their eyeballs, their cybernetic eyeballs, think that each other are me, and they turn their snub-nosed submachine guns on each other.
This sounds like the plot of Jack Wharton.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, Jack Wharton.
It's a Jack Wharton novel. This sounds very.
There is a scene of that in Jack Wharton in Neon City.
Yeah.
So, way back in episode 6, we discussed an experiment involving Neanderthal mini brains.
Neanderthal.
The H is silent.
Neanderthal.
Now,
Neanderthal.
another mini brain
You
experiment.
sound like a fool.
This time with what some people might say were human mini brains.
Did you just make the H silent?
Did you just say human?
Human?
No comment. Anyway, this is being
What is
conducted
happening?
at University.
What is happening
I don't like
here?
this. This is Mr. Ohio newscaster accent. You're dropping the H.
You are trying to sound like a liberal elite right now. Right? You're just using language in a way that is more just effete than the rest of us.
So this research is being conducted at University Hospital Dusseldorf. To make mini brains, skin cells are taken from adults, reverted to stem cells, and placed in a culture that mimics the environment of a developing brain. This turns them into a pea-sized brain model that can be used to study the brain. In this experiment, the research team grew mini brains complete with rudimentary eye structures. What surprised researchers is that these eye structures were functional. They could sense light and send signals to the rest of the brain. Even lens and corona tissue formed. Researchers said this was surprising because retinal nerve fibers had never been seen connecting with brain tissue in an in vitro setting before. It is believed these mini brains will help to study brain-eye interactions and will help in retinal drug testing and transplantation therapies.
So, Mike, I'm gonna have to go for you for confirmation on this.
Okay.
Isn't there a character in TMNT or the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles?
Yes, that's 100% what I was thinking. This is a Krang scenario.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
These things are ready to be shoved into the stomachs of a synthezoid, not an android, a synthezoid, to run around with arms stiff and to the sides, just knocking things over. I saw a picture of this. I've seen a picture of this story. I've seen a picture of the eye stalks, and it looks like a Krang. I don't want to be too reactionary at this, but do these mini brains have souls? That's the question. Where are their crazy people throwing a fit in front of a clinic?
I bet there's some.
In the article I read, there was a lot of discussion about whether, where it's ethical, how long it's ethical to keep mini brains. I guess after 2 months, some mini brains start to have brainwave activity, and then they panic and destroy them. But usually they're destroyed prior to any kind of brainwave activity.
Oh no, it might be sentient. Kill it. Is that
that's the
cool.
human way.
Way to go, Dusseldorf. Bunch of Dusseldorks, right, Mike?
Well, yeah, this does sound like the work of the evil Dr. Ivermectin.
Dr. Ivermectin.
Ivermectin. Oh, the brains are starting to feel kills him.
No waves. Kill the brain. Next brain, please.
Next brain.
I love the idea of them panicking.
Just under it. Yikes. That's right.
Yeah, we can try this. Hey, doctors, this brain seems to be... I can detect brain waves going on.
Kill it!
Oh, good God, kill the brain. I don't know what accent that was.
Kill it, but make it painful. Make sure it dies a painful death.
This is
so we can record its brain woes.
It's getting very Scandinavian, and it does sound like another plot point in a Jack Wharton novel. I feel like we're writing the whole series is happening right now.
Yeah, Ivermectin, Dr. Ivermectin.
Dr. Ivermectin
is one of Jack Wharton's. He's in Jack Wharton's rogues gallery of villains. At one point, Dr. Mectin takes off his lab coat, and you can see that there's a second mini brain growing out of the back of his neck. I told you I had eyes in the back of my head. This was true. And he takes it off, and you see this like squirmy little brain with these two black eyes looking around all googly.
Got googly eyes?
Yeah. Pretty much.
Wow.
Also, he killed one of Jack Wharton's women. It was a girl that he had sex with 3 times, and he was starting to develop feelings for her. He killed her, and it made Jack Wharton mad.
That's his inspiration. That's the one that got away. The one that he had sex with 3 occasions.
He's at one time. I remember he's like, as the end of one of the books, he's kind of saved the day against one of the villains. He's sitting on top of the S-71 Blackbird.
On top of it?
That he just had to fly blindfolded. Yeah, and he just goes like, I'm tired of all my pieces of pussy getting killed. Mecton, you killed my side piece.
I get a very different image of who Jack Wharton is in my head right now. I thought he was a friend of Fur.
He's changed along the series. Well,
this is before the backward skeletons.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that makes sense. Yeah.
Now, were any of those backward skeletons, did they have tongues? I'm just curious.
Well, the real world hasn't bled into that world yet. We'll see. Well, but I do wonder, like, if we can create. I mean, they're not sentient yet, I guess, right? They just like. I mean, what do they think? It just means that there's some electricity going from.
Yeah, there's no brain waves, so the brain isn't. It's not like it could. It's not like an organism processing things. It's literally just stimulation between different points.
Does stimulation just be constant and total pain? For being...
I mean, you could work on that in your lab.
Well, they wouldn't have nerves, would they?
I mean, it's all nerves. Yeah, there's nerve fibers.
Right?
It's like hooking together different wires, and you make a connection. So it's not quite processing.
It sounds like, Mike. It sounds like science was so focused on whether or not they could, they never asked themselves if they should.
Yeah.
And with that, let's go to the next story, Kevin.
Yeah.
With those poignant words.
I would like to say that the next story will find a way.
That's sort of relevant to the next story. This story comes to us from the New York Times.
Paper records. Of record.
Elizabeth Johnson Jr. was tried and convicted of witchcraft during the Salem witch trials. In 1693, she was sentenced to death.
Good.
But she was granted a reprieve by the governor of Massachusetts and died in 1747 around the age of 77.
Why was she giving me a reprieve? Because she cast a spell and made them think that she wasn't one? Because everybody makes a big deal about these witches that get falsely convicted of murder. But what about or falsely convicted of being witches? But what about the witches that were being witches?
Thank you, Mike.
Nobody ever talks about that.
She seems to be have been mentally ill in some kind of way. And so,
well, to be a witch, you'd have to be. I mean, I don't think that's surprising.
Yeah, you would have to be crazy you'd have to be insane in the membrane if you're going to turn your back on God and worship fucking big nose old ladies and the dark arts and Ouija boards and stuff.
It's very youth minister of you. You have to be insane in the membrane.
You'd have to be loco in the cabeza to turn down the chance to go to heaven.
It's a compelling argument.
Well, you have to be Fruit Loops to choose the darkness over light.
Okay, most of the Salem residents who were wrongly convicted of witchcraft were exonerated. In fact, in the 1950s, Massachusetts passed a law exonerating the people found guilty during the Salem witch trials who had not been pardoned, but it failed to include everyone's name. Then, in 2001, another bill was passed that included everyone except Elizabeth Johnson Jr.
Sounds like she was a witch.
Sounds like she was a witch.
Is that why she escaped execution?
Well, yeah, Mike just established she cast a spell.
But I do think every time they exonerate someone hundreds of years, it's like, thanks, I guess. They're
Isn't it like the Mormons baptizing people who are dead?
Yeah,
kind of.
It's like you can exonerate her now. She's still in hell,
consorting with Satan.
Yeah, she made some kind of deal with him.
Yep.
So now an 8th grade civics class in North Andover, Massachusetts, is seeking to clear Elizabeth Johnson Jr.'s name with a bill it crafted. In March, the bill was introduced in the Massachusetts Senate. It has received a hearing in July and may come up for a vote before the end of the year.
Hey, Kevin, I have a question. I think we've established that you're a lawyer on this show. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Well, I'm wondering how can a governmental entity, which is the state of Massachusetts, take action on something that occurred before they existed? Like what authority would they have to clear anybody's name prior to the formation of the state of Massachusetts?
You could theoretically do that under the common law. I mean, it is one continuous series of laws. Like I could cite Massachusetts law from 1693 in terms of how we do things today, because it does build upon that prior law.
I find your answer dubious.
I mean, realistically, it's all just to make us feel better.
Okay, well, I don't feel better because it sounds like they're letting a witch off the hook.
Yeah.
It looks like Mark's been handed a document.
Mark's been handed a document. What is the document, Mark?
This is called the Philadelphia Trumpet, the Tyranny of Science, it says. And this is a extreme far right wing insane magazine that Dana comes across, I believe, at the library.
Jesus Christ.
Just read us a good headline somewhere.
Yeah, well, the Tyranny of Science is on the cover. What's a good headline from?
The danger in putting faith in a false messiah, talking about the tyranny of science.
Is that ivermectin?
Oh, it's a picture of Fauci!
Tyranny of Science, Anthony Fauci.
For the listener, Mark is holding up a magazine where a full page has been dedicated to
that son of a bitch, Fauci.
Fauci, who Mike has established, and it's now in the canon of INS, despises Dr. Fauci.
I want to get into the octagon with him so bad.
Would you beat Chuck Norris in the octagon just to get to Fauci?
I would try.
He's dead.
He's 97 years old.
True.
I think it wouldn't be
Chuck Norris?
Yeah, Chucky.
He's old.
Did we talk about him eating that rat before?
Oh, yeah.
How many rats did he have to eat in the filming of Missing in Action?
Well, I remember there's that scene where he goes, I bet I can eat 72 rats. And then he eats all of them and then just lays down in a Christ pose with a distended belly.
Isn't that Cool Hand Luke?
Nope. Missing in Action.
Missing in Action.
Yeah.
I want to know why our liberal elite news source, Kevin Harrison, has yet to bring us an article from the Philadelphia Trumpet.
You know, I've yet to find anything that meets our high editorial standards.
Oh, that's
breaking my own rules here. But here's another. Why is July 4th suddenly scandalous? Is the title of this article?
It is.
Has a picture of different U.S. icons being toppled over. Right, they're destroying our history, guys.
It's just one person on Twitter that's probably a troll and doesn't even mean it goes, bunch of bad shit happened in this country. We shouldn't do 4th of July. And, then the whole right rallies together like it's this thing that's actually happening, that they're actually not going to be allowed to eat their beloved hot dogs that day.
Man, I love the 4th of July. It's the best holiday of the year. Are you telling me that it's Mike? All I heard from you just said was that my favorite holiday is under threat of being eliminated.
Essentially, that's what is the way it's being delivered.
One person on Twitter said that.
Well, they wouldn't say it if there wasn't something to it, Kevin.
Well, they wouldn't have an account going if they didn't have some authority.
Right. Not anybody can sign up for one of those.
They don't just give those things to anybody. Yeah.
So let me just finish this story real quick. I got one sentence.
Which one?
In all,
are we still talking about mini brains?
No, we're talking about the witchcraft.
Oh yeah, the witch.
Oh yeah.
In all, 28 members of Johnson's family were accused of witchcraft, including her mother, several of her aunts, and her grandfather, who was a minister.
This just lends more credence to the idea that she was a witch. Because of course they're all going to be in a family together. That's how you stay hidden for so long.
Are you saying witchcraft is genetic?
No. I'm just saying that traditions are passed down through families, and it sounds like
the religious doctrine.
Consorting with Satan is something that was passed down in the Johnson family.
Yep, they say he's a friend of the family.
All the way to Ben. Ben
Johnson.
Yeah.
Guest of the show 7 episodes ago. Our next story, I'm going to try to convince Mark to put this on the Patreon. But yeah, so for anybody who's not on the Patreon, you're not going to get this next story. It's special for the Patreon members, and there's a kitty in it.
Cat, that is. It's
meow.
Oh, wait.
Her.
Well, I think we did it, guys. I think that wraps up another week of the International News Service. Check us out, Kevin, on across the internet at International News Pod. Email us at internationalnewspod@gmail.com. Check out our Patreon. Check out our merch store on Redbubble. And rate, review, and subscribe, and tell a friend about us. We'll see you next week.
Tell 2 friends.
Tell 2 friends about us.
You're not doing enough if you just tell 1. You'll never get into this sick motherfuckers if you only tell 1 friend. Real sick motherfuckers tell 2 to 7 friends. And if somebody says I don't have time to listen to that, fucking put a vinegaroon in their fucking mouth when they're asleep.
Thank you for listening to the International News Service. Don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe to the podcast. INS, the news you need.